Okay, let's talk about Iman Gadzhi's $8.9 million info business called Digital Launchpad. And basically, Iman has this thing where it basically makes people addicted to his ecosystem. This is the story behind it. Basically, Digital Launchpad is actually a subscription model. It is a membership. And the issue with scaling and actually offering a low ticket monthly recurring info product is a little bit difficult. But Iman has somehow been able to generate nearly $500,000 in just 50 days, and then over the 12-month period, generate about $8.9 million in sales with an average of 6-month retention per user. And Iman has said himself that this type of model, memberships, is not ideal for anyone selling some type of info. And the reason for this is pretty straightforward. Traditional info products such as courses, programs, etc. are designed to solve a specific problem quickly. Most people that buy information, and I know this from experience myself, and I'm sure you are the same, is that we buy it to extract 90% of the value within the first month. It is about solving a specific problem within that small time period of interest of buying that information. Despite this, Iman has leveraged this to monetize his massive audience, 5.2 million on YouTube, I think like 3 million on Instagram, a massive audience. Despite this, Iman has used his models to monetize his massive audience, all the traffic that he's getting, all the eyeballs, and that was because he leveraged something called gamification and creating an addictive ecosystem. So why I don't recommend doing subscription models and why Iman doesn't recommend it himself is because, like I was just saying, info products deliver 90% of the value upfront. It's like, imagine you buy a book and then you're getting charged per month just to have access to that book. It's like, no, you bought that book to read it at the moment because that's when it's most relevant for you. And then you have lifetime access to it. And obviously subscription fatigue. So you could imagine with like modern consumers, there's a whole bunch of subscriptions like Netflix, Spotify, Amazon Prime. I just named the ones that I'm subscribed to. And when budgets tighten, what's the first thing that you look at? Subscriptions. Me personally, if I want to save a bit of money, I'm going through my subscriptions. Anything that's a non-essential, out the door. So unless you're like Iman with a massive audience, then you can do a subscription model because it makes sense because you have a bunch of traffic that's constantly coming into your ecosystem, and then you can monetize that on a low price recurring model. Another example is Andrew Tate's Real World. He has a subscription model. You probably heard of Andrew Tate, Escape the Matrix. His info business is subscription as well. Why? Is because he has a bunch of traffic coming into his ecosystem all the time. Okay, now we have an overview understanding on subscription models and Digital Launchpad. I don't know if I said that at the start, but Digital Launchpad is basically helping aspiring entrepreneurs build online businesses that are easy to make the first $1,000 online. That is like the core messaging, which we'll go through now. So first things first, obviously Iman has a massive brand and he uses his YouTube as his VSLs. So Iman has emphasized this himself. He doesn't look at YouTube as a content platform. He uses it as a free platform to pitch your solutions, to pitch your offerings. He basically looks at every video as a VSL. He calls it the VSL flywheel, where he has a YouTube video, like something like this, which then leads into another video, which then leads to another one, which then eventually encourages the person to go onto a landing page to then convert into a customer. So with that being said, so obviously YouTube is all mainly around attracting beginner or aspiring entrepreneurs. So you can see here, all his videos are very beginner focus friendly. Then obviously Iman Gadzhi's social media. So he obviously sells the lifestyle, the poor, broke, painful, upcoming to then rich lifestyle, being able to do a lot of the things that everyone aspires to do. Then Iman focuses on distribution by getting people to clip up his content from YouTube videos, from Instagram, shorts, etc., to then just distribute it into multiple different accounts dedicated for Iman. So like you can see here, there's a WAP account where it's like you can get paid up to $2,000 for a single UGC video where you talk about Iman Gadzhi and share videos about it. If it goes viral, you make money. So you can see here, these are some examples of different accounts created by Iman Gadzhi clippers where they just post a bunch of content on Iman Gadzhi. The goal is to just expand awareness and reach. He obviously has a dedicated Instagram page where this basically just targets the warm audience that are already aware of Iman and would potentially be interested in what Digital Launchpad is. Basically, what this does is just remove common concerns with student wins, actually increasing FOMO with showing real life events. So for example, was someone asking, what exactly is the aim of Digital Launchpad? The answer, at Digital Launchpad, our main mission is to help students kickstart their online journey by making the first $1,000. So overall, a bunch of high volume videos across social media, leveraging clipping and distribution from other accounts to expand reach. Then he uses his YouTube as VSLs to emphasize a certain narrative and to provide a solution or opportunity for the people that are interested, which then funnels into his paid offerings. Okay, so that was Iman's content strategy. Now, if we go over here, let's talk about his messaging and positioning. So as we know Iman Gadzhi for, he's known for like beginner-friendly business models. That's kind of how he built his mass audience. So you notice keywords are like beginner, laziest, easy, first 100K, which is the core messaging of Digital Launchpad, and copy. Copy my systems to help you fast track and make your first $1,000 online. Simple messaging that speaks directly to ideal buyers. Even on the Digital Launchpad landing page, it's highlighted, tailored for beginners, build a profitable business, experts who've done it before. So what this does is it indicates who this is for, the dream outcome, and the safety reinforcements like, hey, you have support from experts who have done it yourself. This is exactly for you if you want to build a profitable business and make your first $1,000. This is exactly for beginners. This is exactly what you need. I can't emphasize this enough, but no matter what you are selling, no matter what information product you're selling, if that's a course or program, you always want to compare your thing to something that is more massively adopted. So example here is that Iman Gadzhi has positioned Digital Launchpad as an alternative to educational systems like university. So 2 paths, 1 choice. On the left side is pay $10,000 plus, invest years and thousands of dollars on traditional degrees, only to find yourself among countless others with similar qualifications. That's a shot at universities. Or instead, on the right side, is pay only $37, gain instant access to cutting-edge online strategies that are working right now, equip yourself with the largest actionable insights and real growth tactics to accelerate your growth. Basically, what this is doing is just positioning the solution as the better alternative by positioning the other as a negative path. Who the hell would want to spend $10,000 for outdated degrees to have the same qualifications as everyone else when instead you only have to pay $37 and you get real life tactical methods that are working now to help you accelerate your growth? Sounds a lot more appealing, doesn't it? There's like the high level pitch. So what you get, so this tells you everything. So obviously this is designed to convince the viewer that this is right for them, addressing everything that a ideal buyer would want. Learn core skills based on your personality, never be short on information, be with like minds, be on top of trends, access to Iman Gadzhi. Everything that an aspiring entrepreneur that has seen online gurus talking about online businesses, this is exactly all the things that they would want. And Iman does really well to emphasize this in a very short, concise pitch here. Obviously the value, so this is all the courses that you're going to get, which is freaking a lot. So very high value stack. Overall, this just targets beginners seeking real world money making skills, resonates with ambitious young entrepreneurs that are sick of traditional universities and honestly just want some way to help them fast track to make the first $1,000 online and having access to experts that have done it themselves. So here at the back end funnel. So obviously he generates awareness, which goes into YouTube videos, which then this is where Iman Gadzhi presents the opportunity. CTA, people click onto it here. So you can see that button. It'll take them to the landing page, outlines all the info. Again, there's 2 options, monthly or yearly. Obviously the yearly would be more appealing because you actually save more if you pay upfront instead of paying recurringly, and you get access to more things and better things. Contact details, so you fill out here. So it's important to collect details, contact information before providing them with the checkout page. So you also notice with the payment is that it has that instantly access with points of the value. That is designed so when someone is checking out, they can visually see the value while they're checking out in case someone might be like, oh, why am I buying this again? Well, they can be reminded here. And you might be thinking, okay, well, if someone doesn't check out straight away, which is very, very common, even at Iman's level. Well, that is why this exists. So if you're wondering, what is all this crap? This is called retargeting ads. So cart abandon sequences. So what this is paid ads, retargeting ads directed at those that go onto here, but don't actually check out. So what this does is increase FOMO by having discounts and basically encouraging the person to just finalize the purchase. This happened to be during Black Friday, so it was like perfect timing. So they used the Black Friday sale to retarget those that didn't convert straight away with a bunch of ads. So overall, the content and the messaging drives the awareness that brings people into the funnels. And then they have a cart abandon sequences that provides discounts for those that didn't convert straight away. And this is used through advanced tracking. And the advanced tracking is used by a platform called Pablo. What's cool about Pablo is actually used by some of the biggest names that you can think of in the online space. So James Smith with his business mentorship. We have June, you've probably seen this guy for Creative College. You also have Grace Beverly with her courses here. And Pablo is a platform that has generated $3 million plus for the creators that use it. And the cool thing is I have exclusive access to Pablo. My business VEC communities has access to this monetization platform. And this will only be used for creators that want to partner with us and actually build an info business like courses and programs and want all the advanced tracking, all the deep funnels to provide better customer experiences and actually scale. Then you can book a call with me and we can see if we can actually help you. Then we can leverage Pablo for yourself and actually use it to generate a lot of freaking money, like how Iman Gadzhi, James Smith, June, Grace Beverly, they all have themselves. Okay, so now we have a better understanding on digital launchpads funnels. Let's go through the customer experience, which is probably one of the most important aspects of the info business. You can see everything here. And overall, the student experience is designed to target human desires, connect with others in community, have access to Iman and the team, rewards, badges, increases retention, and is never boring because there's prizes to be won. Iman talks about providing a customer-first approach, just like Amazon, and making the experience fun, engaging, rewarding, meaningful, and competitive, which leads to organic growth and higher retention, which leads to people talking about it and then referring more people. So let's actually go into the slides that I have created, which you can have access to when you click the link below. And you can have access to this exact presentation that I've created here that goes through the digital launchpad addictive ecosystem aspect in a little bit more detail. Because ultimately this part here is how he has generated these numbers through the addictive ecosystem that I'm going through now. So the core strategy was building an addictive ecosystem, but not in a bad way. This is getting people interested and addicted to learning and improving, bettering the skills so they can make money online. So what Iman has done really, really well was provide status badges. As you progress throughout the months, you can get higher level status badges, which is people normally desire some type of status. So badges are a great way to do that. Then this is called the progression system. So you notice here month 1 to month 24, you get this quote empire status, but basically the longer you stay within the community, the more stuff that you unlock, the more rewards you can win, and the more exclusive things that you get access to. The whole point of this is to increase the retention and the FOMO. Because what is the one thing that would stop people from unsubscribing to a subscription model? It is if they feel that they are missing out on something that is more valuable if they were to stop subscribing. So the whole point of this is to provide something where it seems more of a loss if the person was to unsubscribe to this. So here are the 5 retention gamification elements. So progression difficulty. So as you actually go through these months, it actually gets harder and harder to get to the next level, just like a video game. You kill one boss, you want to kill another boss. It's probably a little bit harder compared to the first boss that you killed. Same thing. Clear milestones so people actually know and understand what is the roadmap that they need in order to get to the next level. Eliminates confusion and creates a clear roadmap to success. So you can see here, everything's clearly identified. Meaningful rewards, so people get mentorship calls, people get to fly out to events with Iman, people get to, obviously this community, so you get to attend events with people with like minds and you get exclusive access to just perks, more resources, courses as you stay within the subscription. And obviously the student experience needs some stuff that supports that. So obviously this is all like the psychological aspects, but there was like the technical stuff that just makes it easier. So obviously as simple as it is, just having a mobile app version. Actually have something where people can access on their mobile and on the laptop. It just makes it easier to access. Then obviously the data tracking, which is through the public platform, like I mentioned. But ultimately, the student experience needs to be customer focused, just like Jeff Bezos has done with Amazon. So Iman focuses on the unchanging needs of customers, which is his targeted buyers are people that want an easy, simple path to make the first $1,000 online, not having to invest a bunch of money and just having support along the way and feeling like they are progressing and transforming into the person that they decide to be and actually progressing towards X goal. So that is what Iman has ultimately done. So key takeaways. So Digital Launchpad is all about the ecosystem. It is the experience that people gain when they're actually involved, because the money doesn't come from acquiring the person. It comes from retaining them. Because think about it. If one person buys for $37 for the first month, that's only $37. But if that person was to stay for 12 months, I don't even know the maths in that. You know what? Let's actually look at it now in real time. So 37 times 12, that is $444. Okay, so that is $444 for one buyer. I don't know, you times that by the amount of audience that he has. Let's say 1,000 people come in per month. That's a lot. So you can see how it works. The game is retaining people, not acquiring people. Because the acquiring part is easy for someone like Iman or like Andrew Tate. They have a bunch of traffic. So the real game, bringing them into the ecosystem and then nurturing them to keep staying, so then they keep paying more and more and more. So a very common mistake that a lot of creators are selling information is just they rely on one thing, like video courses or just community access, without implementing the student experience, the gamification aspects. You need some way of having some psychological methods to just basically provide a really high dopamine experience that makes people feel good by being a part of this thing that you have offered. And why subscription works if it's done well and you are the right person to do it. So like, you don't have to be like Iman Gadzhi and Andrew Tate, but having some type of trusted audience where you're getting a whole bunch of traffic, it can make sense to have a subscription model. But if you were to do a subscription model, it makes sense because the model just effectively resells itself. Meaning that over time, as the person stays, there's more value that's being provided, which continuously sells that person that they should continue paying because they're getting more stuff recurrently. This increases the experience and then which leads to word of mouth, which leads to more people coming into the ecosystem. But like I was saying, and Iman has said, this is not for everyone. This approach only suits businesses with wide engaged audiences like Iman. Iman prefers high ticket offerings. I like to say you should focus on the whole digital funnel. And what the whole digital funnel is this. So Digital Launchpad is targeted at the subscription low ticket model. And what Iman loves is all the high ticket stuff. Ideally, what you want, the overall main goal, is to have low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket, and then maximize revenue with high ticket. So let's just use Iman for example here. His goal is to get attention, which is for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Cool. That's why he's a master at, mainly in organic. The goal is to get the information. So that is why he does like webinars. That's why he provides free resources and brings people into his email list. He then nurtures that relationship, which then leads to a conversion, which then turns them into a customer. That is Iman Gadzhi's Digital Launchpad low ticket product. Then the main offer, which is monetized, which I talk about in another video, is his mid to high ticket product, which is $2,000 for a lifetime access. Then he has his maximized revenues where he does actual real life masterminds. And he also does one-on-one coaching behind the scenes. So in this deck, there's also a section on how to apply this to your info product, no matter what type of model that you're doing. If you're doing subscription, if you're doing low price one-offs, high ticket, no matter what it is, you can use some more of these aspects of what Iman has done with Digital Launchpad to use it for your own. So I won't get into detail here because you can have access to this if you just click the link below and you can have this whole deck. But with that being said, that is Iman Gadzhi's Digital Launchpad and how he has generated $8.9 million in 12 months through an addictive ecosystem. So if you want access to this deck to just go through it yourself and understand the core principles that made it a success and how you can use it for yourself, you just click the link below, you opt in with your email, and you'll get sent that deck. But I hope this was useful, actually breaking down the customer journey in detail. Hopefully you gain some insights on how you might be able to do this yourself. You'll notice there was nothing complex or out of the ordinary here. It was all very, very simple, just maximized to perfection. I like to look at Iman Gadzhi like the Ronaldo of info. He's known for like being great at everything because he has mastered the basic fundamentals to perfection. That is like Iman Gadzhi with info. He has mastered content and personal branding. Then he has mastered messaging and speaking directly to ideal buyers. Then he has mastered simple funnels that then converts into customers. And he has mastered the customer experience, which creates this massive info ecosystem that has generated him a lot of money. And like what I was saying earlier, if you're a creator and you want to monetize your audience and you actually want all the right tracking, the correct funnels, and the right strategies to help you to create something similar to Iman Gadzhi's $8.9 million empire, can't promise you can get that result, but if you want to, bring in good numbers like what James Smith has done, Grace Beverly, June, all those creators that you can think of, they all use Public themselves. And I now have exclusive access to this platform. So if you're a creator and you want to grow your info business, then you can book a direct call with me and we can talk and see if we might be able to help you and strategize how we can turn your expertise into a real info business that scales for you. With that being said, hope you enjoyed this and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.